Hi, this is Brad Willis. I'm the moderator of the MetalStorm fan group, which is located at www.facebook.com/groups/MetalStorm fan group. As I've mentioned before, we have some very, very good players, some new players, intermediate players. Really nice to kind of get to know some of your fellow MetalStorm players, and I think you will learn a lot from interacting with our group members. But one of those group members asked me to do a review on Liberty, which I guess is about to come out, at least as of the time of this video. And I was a little hesitant to do it because I don't think I fly the plane properly. And what I mean by properly is it has some unique characteristics that I think are particularly well suited to backflipping players that use coin weapons. And the reason it's well suited to those players is because, number one, it has a lot of speed, and number two, it has a very fast lock speed, I should say. So as soon as they come into view, you're locked on, typically before they are. And number three, very, very high tracking. So when you fire and you're locked on, you're probably going to hit them. That's not really my style. The back flipping is not really my style, and I don't use coin missiles very often. So I'll try to give a little bit of a review anyway, but do understand that the way that I play is not using this plane, I suppose, to its best advantage. And you know, there is some controversy about backflipping. You know, there's people that say, they kind of poo-poo it and say, you know, that's not really a great way to play. You know, it's kind of a chicken way to play. Other people would say, no, it's perfectly fine. You know, that is not any violation of the rules, and you know, just if you can backflip and win, make them counter it. And sometimes it's really hard to do, especially if they are using coin weapons. Now, briefly, we'll talk a little bit more about the stats, and then we'll play a game. But again, bear in mind that I'm not using the best weapons, and my style is not the best style, I think, for this plane. Missile tracking at +8 in the weapons class. I think it's best in class. It's certainly up there, but I'm pretty sure it's best in class. As I mentioned, it means your missile is more likely to hit its target. It's going to track a lot more solidly than something without tracking. It's going to make it harder for your opponent to dodge that missile. Damage at +10 is okay. You know, it's decent. It'll certainly get plenty of attention. Best in class is +17, but +10 is nothing to poo-poo. Speed at +12 is one of the better in class, and as I mentioned, you can utilize that to get away from the opponent and come back around quickly, presumably in many cases by backflipping, and then use again the next statistic, lock speed, to lock on him fast, use that tracking, and then probably blow him up. Now, again, I'm gonna play in the way that I usually play, which is pretty conventional without the backflipping. But if I see an opportunity to throw a backflip or two in there, I might just do it for the heck of it. But just understand that I'm not real proficient at backflipping. So let's play a game, and we'll let you take a look at Liberty. And again, as with the other videos, this will give you an idea as to whether it's something you should spend your coins on. I personally think it's a pretty good plane, but there are some stats that I miss, especially energy. You know, I go through a lot of energy. This plane doesn't have it, and I wouldn't mind a little more agility too. And just to kind of go back to center here for a second, that's why a lot of the back flippers do well on this plane, because you don't need a ton of agility if you're racing around in a fairly tight space and then just backflipping and trying to lock on your opponent. But having said all that, let's go ahead and play a game. So we're going to click on Play Now versus Mode and Auto Match. We'll see who pops up. I'll talk about my opponent. I'll talk about the game. We'll see how things go. We'll try to win. Looks like we've got a pretty good player in Quicksilver. He's using Biznos. This is going to be a hard opponent, but we'll go ahead and do our best. So we're going to spin around, accelerate. There he is. I'm going to try to hit him. He hit me. We'll spin around again. We will try to get target acquisition, and there he is. I reviewed Quicksilver recently. I didn't love it, but you know, we'll see how he does in it. So far, it looks like he's doing pretty well. I'm building my energy up a little bit on the guy. You see, I'm not backflipping or anything. I'm playing a lot more conventionally. He's got a lot more agility than I have. He's also got much better weaponry, and you can see how much more damage he does when he hits me with those Biznos, as opposed to my Rams. So I got to be careful with this guy, because he's going to take me out in one or two more shots. In fact, if I was a backflipper, I'd probably be having a lot more success than I am right now. And he's doing a pretty good job evading my missiles, despite the fact that, let me duck here, because I think I had a Bizno coming at me. But he's doing a good job evading, even despite my high tracking. If I had a coin weapon, it'd be a lot harder for him. And you see my energy, I'm almost out, so that's something I got to monitor. What I'm going to do is try to build it up without getting killed. So I'm just trying to stay away from him for a minute, get myself a little bit of energy, and try to stay away from his Biznos, because one more and I'm pretty much toast in this game. Let's go ahead and come around. see if we can. Okay, good, we got him. So again, I'm not using it in the conventional manner. Now our energy's coming back up. We're going to try to accelerate very hard and duck, and hopefully not get hit with his missiles. I'm full speed right now. I'm going to slow down, brake, come around hard, and I see him to my left roll. Tried to get a no lock on him, and I might even got an actual lock on him because this thing does lock so very fast. Now he's moving away from me a bit. I'm going to slow down. I have to respect the fact that, one, he's got some pretty powerful weapons, and two, he's got next to best in class agility, and I don't have any extra agility. So again, I got to be real cognizant of that. What I'm hoping too is that he will get more desperate as the game gets closer to a conclusion and open up a little bit of space, and I can hopefully use that to make short work of him. But right now I'm just trying to stay away from him and kill the clock out and get a win. Now let's go ahead. There he is again. I'm out of energy. We hit him real hard, but he could get me right about now. I'm speeding up as fast as I can. I'm slowing, and again I'm going to spin. Just try to get a real quick lock, which we did, and we got him again. Good. And you can see how fast that locks. And again, once it locks, you hit him pretty good. Now he'll spawn, maybe get a shot off at me, and we preserved a 2-0 victory against, I think, a good player with some. Look at his weapons, Zeus and Bisno. So you can see in this case, Liberty was very, very solid. He wants a rematch, but you know, I'll save that rematch for another day. You know, I just want to give you an idea as to how this plane flies and what its characteristics are. And I just beat Paul Somebody's challenge of skill rating, so that's terrific, or whatever. So anyway, that gives you an idea as to Liberty. Again, I am not flying it in what I believe to be the most effective manner, but you can see that it did a pretty good job evading a plane that has a very, very high agility rate, allegedly the highest in class. Although when I say allegedly, Quicksilver doesn't feel like the highest agility in class. I almost wonder if something's going on with the plane, that it's not set up properly. But the short of it is that he's a good player with a better with better ammunition and a very good plane, and we still beat him. So you can see that this is a formidable plane. You can use it in just your day-to-day versus matches, and I think that again, if you do master the backflipping technique, this is the plane that will really piss people off, because you can beat them, and it's very frustrating. And I've been on the losing end of those frustrating games many, many times, as much as I hate to admit it. So that's all I got for you for now. That is a review on Liberty. My understanding is it is about to be offered, and it is a pretty good plane. So it's certainly something that you may very well want to consider. I guess you'd call it an oldie but goodie, but also a plane that has some unique characteristics in that it locks very, very fast, and that it has extremely high tracking, and also that it's quite fast for a plane in the weapons class. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave comments, criticisms, or again, questions in the remarks section here at YouTube. And meanwhile, we will see you in the skies as usual, playing MetalStorm.